Here is my build plan for that GQH Thompson M1A1 from TriggerToy.com. So I mentioned in the video where I showed you where I took it apart a little bit and talked about the spring upgrade that I had a crazy kit I was building for it. So that's what I want to show you here. There's one nice kit out there for the M1A1, kind of a cyberpunk style kit. But it is made for the Cyma version, which I've never seen. It's an airsoft. And the dimensions were significantly different. So I'd say that inspired this, but really the only piece from that I kind of was able to use and manipulate was the piece that I then went ahead and put a buffer tube on, which in the case of the kit, it doesn't have a buffer tube. It has a different type of stock attachment. So other than that, I'd say it somewhat inspired it, but the rest was really just kind of creating it and building, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So, and again, this will be put on here without any holes being drilled into this at all. You'd be able to return this to stock very easily. Nothing even got painted. All the pieces were fine. I even made a grip that worked with it, which obviously was a lot of work because it isn't made for that blaster. So I'll talk about that a little bit too. So for those of you who are into the whole build process, you may enjoy this video. Those who aren't, you probably just want to wait till the completed product, right? So we'll start down at this end. So this piece was the one piece that I was able to size up a little bit, but I had to do a bunch of plastic welding and melting on the inside. So I don't mind if the inside parts of the pieces don't look pretty, as long as the outside pieces, look pretty or pretty close to perfect, right? So this still uses the two screw holes that are already right here. So that lines up nicely with that. And then I put a buffer tube attachment on it, okay? So I went ahead with that instead. Obviously, the buffer tube is going to connect through here with a nice long M5 bolt. So that's going to give it stability. And I had an extra one of these lying around from a Gen 8 M4. And I thought I'd see if I could utilize that instead. So I basically put inside there, the little, essentially what's like a buffer tube, the nut, the little lock piece that the bolt is going to go through so that it can hold it in place. And this is just going to go on here. And then I also put another spot where there's a heat insert or a rivet nut that's going to hold here. So that's definitely going to give it plenty of stability. And of course the battery is going to be inside the buffer tube. All right, so that's all going to lock on there. For the stock, this is a highly modified version of a stock that I found that I changed to a buffer tube stock. It was some sort of like Nerf attachment, but I thought it had that futuristic vibe I was going for. So that's what we're going to use for the stock. A little spot for my logo sticker. That's going to slide on there, and it's just got a little rivet nut for basically a little hand turn that's going to lock it in place, okay? So we got that down at this end. I just printed a new cooler looking charge knob that just fits perfectly on there. So you just screw it in and then we push the cap on all the way. So that's on the other side of the blaster. Now the grip, this took a lot of customizing and it doesn't look perfect, but it's pretty close. And I really needed to keep this side super thin so that you can use the mag release. So this slides under there and fits along this curve. So this will fit along here really nice. And then this just, of course, fits right along the bottom of the trigger plate there. Put a little extension on it. We've got a rivet nut through here, and this will go ahead and screw in nice and tight. Now this fits super tight already. That's why this is all electrical taped up to protect the wires and to hold them really nice and tight, just because this fits so tight. Even though I did sort of widen it out the best I could, just to keep the integrity of the grip and everything and to keep it looking decent. That's what we had to do. So that fits really tight, which is good, and it'll fit on there nice. Okay, so we got that for the grip. Now the handguard, as you can see, is huge. So I made it basically all into one piece. It was printed in multiple pieces, but you can see how this is gonna slide on the top. These pieces, these panels will go over the top of this and that, and then screw directly into these heat inserts, right? Now this fits on here. This fits nice and snug. it probably doesn't even have to be screwed in through there, but that's going to just, again, secure everything in place. It's going to slide on there like that. Now, there also are these two holes up here, and there's two spots where screws went through to hold this piece right here. So if we can see right here and right here. So we're going to be able to utilize some different longer M3 bolts to go through there with some washers. And again, not necessary, but when I was building it, I just wanted to make sure that everything was nice and secure and that I utilized all the pieces that were here. You can see on this side, opened up, so that's where your charge knob is going to be, and this is just to open up for this area right here. Okay, so that gives you a little idea of how that's going to fit on there. All right, now for the front end, I still do have to do a little bit of touch up on this. Now for the front end, we're going to have this piece is going to slide in there. This still needs to dry slightly. This is just going to slide in through here and fit nice and snug. So then I added some color with the gray. And after that, we're going to just have this little red flash hider cap that is going to go on the actual end of the outer barrel. Lastly, just a nice little grip. This, again, needs to finish drying. That's just going to go on the bottom of the handguard. All right, so there you go. Completely custom. It took a lot of work, a lot of extra printing, a lot of printing of different plates to then incorporate everything together. Kind of, it's really supposed to have kind of a futuristic slash, I don't know, cyberpunk type style to it. So that's what I was going for. That is my version of a fully custom GQH M1A1. Check back for the finished product. Of course, I upgraded the spring in here to an M95 as well, so we should get a lot better performance from it. So I'm looking forward to trying to be patient and letting everything dry really good, and then putting it together and showing you guys a finished product, and of course doing a demo with it. Comments, questions, post them below. Like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly contests on my YouTube channel where you can win over $300 in blasters and accessories. Thanks.